Good day everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about this Unifans coming from Lian Li. These are new release fans known as the Unifan SL Infinity 120. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided the box unit and the individual unit, and also to BlkSoda who have sent all this to me. I'll first start off with the unboxing on both the box set and the individual set, followed by in-depth details about the fans itself, the accessories, and last but not least, the application that make use to control all these fans. Let's begin. These are all the specification of the SL Infinity 120. The only difference where you purchase the 3-set pack, it comes with a controller and the unique cable that comes with a 7-pin connector to connect to your controller. Else, if you buy an individual package, you will only come with this cable that has a split on the fans and the aRGB, where you can directly connect to your motherboard itself. I'll first start off with the individual unit, followed by the box. Now, what's inside this unit itself? This is the cable for attaching to your fan itself. It does give you a fan, the instruction manual, and I believe these are the protective for the sides of the fans itself, which I'm going to show you later. Let me just take this fan out first. And inclusive of 4 fan screws. This is the individual unit. Coming to the box set itself, it gives you 4 cables, fan cables, for you to attach to the fan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a box of accessories, and these are the fans, the instruction manual, the protective sticker for the side, which I'm going to show you later, a fast instruction guide on how you do the connection, a thank you card. In the accessory box itself, it contains all this item. Before I go in depth, do note that in order to obtain this accessory box itself that contains the main item, which is the controller, you can only have this controller if you were to purchase a 3-set package and not a individual package. So kindly take note on this. I'll start off with the controller. If you were to own a AL and SL controller itself, right, it looks very different. This is an enhanced version of the controller itself, whereby it provides 4 ports and additional of Sync 2 and Sync 4. Let me just show you the comparison. This is the AL or the SL controller that only has 4 ports. Having to say this, right, having the additional port of Sync 2 and Sync 4, whereby you have a 3-pin JST connector, you can connect this from your Galahad aRGB connector directly to this controller, or a additional Lian Li aRGB strips to the other side, whereby this controller will make use of an application called L-Connect 3. Having to say this, right, you will need to provide additional power source, which I show you. There are 2 SATA connector. One of this SATA connector having the 4 wires, right, is to provide power to 4 ports, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 2 wires, which is meant for your Sync 2 and Sync 4. In this package, it also comes with a double-sided tape, whereby you can tape this at the back of your controller, and this is magnetic, whereby you can just magnet on your case itself internally, and you will just hold there and you will not shake. Besides this, it does contain these 3 cables. I will go through with you one by one. Starting with this cable. This cable here is meant for you to make use of the L-Connect 3 application to control the controller. At one end, which is the micro USB connector, you can connect to the controller itself. And at the other end, where you have the USB header, or should I say the connector, this is for you to connect to your motherboard USB header, so that you can make use of the L-Connect 3 application as mentioned to control this controller. If you want to bypass the L-Connect 3 application and to make use of your motherboard utility to control the fans and the aRGB, you will need this cable. This is whereby One side is to connect to your controller, and at the other end, this is meant for you to connect to your aRGB header on your motherboard, and this is the fan connector to your motherboard fan connector. And in order to bypass the controller, or should I say the L-Connect itself, you will need to go to L-Connect and disable the function and to switch to motherboard mode in order for you to make use of the motherboard utility to control the fans and the aRGB effects. It also comes with 3 pack of fan screws, and I will be talking about this additional item which Lian Li have actually thought of. Thank you very much. Whereby a lot have mentioned that by connecting, let's say for example, this is the top fan, and you have the rear fan. Originally, when you have the AL and SL, whereby you have this fan connectors, you will make use of the top at one port and the rear at one port. However, saying so, with this splitter itself, you can just connect the top. Let me just grab another cable, and assuming this is the rear, you can connect to the rear, and with this end here, okay, I have the top. This is the cable for the top, this is for the rear of the case, and this to the controller. So you can connect it this way. When you daisy chain 3 and daisy chain 3, do not make use of the splitter itself, which is this, and to connect 3 fans into one splitter and the other 3 fan into another splitter, and to connect this to one port. This is a no-go. Please do not do this. Reason being, it will be overloading the controller that causes cable melt or the explosion of the controller itself. So take note on this. It will be alright if you only connect only 4 fans, which is like this. 3 to the top, 1 at the rear, and to use the splitter and to connect to one port. This is okay. Next, I'll be talking about the cables provided in a 3-pack package and an individual pack package. I'll start off with the 3-set pack. Now, as mentioned, it comes with 4 cables, fan connectors and aRGB connectors. Do note that one of the end, this is actually meant for your fan, where you connect this to the fans itself when you do your daisy chain as usual. So we can just plug it in. It can only go in one direction, so make sure that you don't force it. This is done. And the other end, which is actually a 7-pin connector to connect to your controller. So this is actually provided in a set package. Now, for individual wise, it's different, whereby you have one end which is similar to the set package to connect to your fan. See? And over here, instead of giving you the 7-pin, it gives you a split whereby you have total control on the fan PWM and the aRGB connector itself, whereby you can just directly plug to your motherboard. And do take note when you're plugging into your motherboard, make sure that you do not connect more than 4 fans. Because if you connect more than 4 fans, and to daisy chain, speaking of daisy chain, you might need to get this additional for aRGB, whereby you connect 1 to 4 or 3. As mentioned, do not go beyond more than 4 fans to one aRGB header on your motherboard itself, because your motherboard might blow. There's some specification. Do check out on that. Now this is the daisy chain on the aRGB itself. Similar to the fan connection itself, you will need a splitter. So with me here, it's only 1 to 2. You can have 1 to 4. And make sure you do not daisy chain the fan load more than 4 fans. And you can actually just do daisy chain like that. So assuming that you have one fan like this, so you connect to it, and followed by three more fans, so total of 4. At this end, connect to your motherboard header, or should I say the fan header itself. And please check the specification on your motherboard, how much ampere it can cater for, because sometimes you might not be able to connect 4, you can only connect 3. I'd rather you practice this safely, as in like how to operate the unit correctly, rather than to say sorry, as I've received quite a number of friends or people who seek help from me stated that their cables got melt and their controller got exploded. I mean, the capacity got exploded. Reason being, right, they keep on daisy chain more and more aRGB stuff and to plug to the controller and such, even to the motherboard itself too. Now let's start off with the fan load itself. As you can see on my right, each fan has a drawing fan load of 0.18 ampere. And if you to look at the motherboard itself, right, there are specifications like the CPU fan, the pump fan, and the system fan 1, 2, and 3. All are listed over here. So do check on your motherboard what are the specifications. It will tell you what's the max current that you will be able to provide. I'll take this illustration as in like the system fan 1 and 3. I'll take any one of them. So each of them is providing 1 ampere on your motherboard. And if you were to use the controller and the box set, not a problem, because as I mentioned, do not plug more than 4 fans to each of this output. So do take note on this. If you are purchasing individual fans, as in like a individual package that comes with this kind of cable, I know that you're going to daisy chain, as in like the fan connector, right? You make use of 4 or 5 to 1 and plug to your motherboard. Well, please take note on the voltage itself, or should I say the amperage. For example, if you were to connect 4 fans, not a problem, because it's actually below 1 ampere, it's 0.72 ampere. 5 fans, okay, not so bad, 0.9, still able to take it. But if you were to daisy chain more than 5, which is 6, 1.08 ampere, yes, it might be able to run. But in the long run, your motherboard fan header, right, might melt or maybe explode. And some, even worse, is like due to the simplicity of the daisy chain itself, right, they would to do 8 fans or more. Please do not do this. If you're going to do this, your motherboard headers or the fan headers, right, will either melt or blow. Next will be the aRGB load. For each fan, it draws up to 0.6 ampere, meaning to say all the lightings. So you will be purchasing, for individual fan, right, you'll be purchasing a splitter, right? So you'll be daisy chaining all the aRGB connectors to this, and at the end you plug to your motherboard. Well, there are specifications on your motherboard too, so check on the menu itself. It says 3 ampere. So imagine that one fan is drawing 0.6 ampere, and if you have 4 fans, no problem. The max is 2.4 ampere. 5 fan, just nice. But if you go beyond 5 fans, right, which is 6 or 8 fans, look at the amperage, 3.6 ampere and 4.8 ampere at 8 fans. You will definitely max out as like, overload the connectors itself. So this will cause your aRGB connectors on your motherboard to melt or to be damaged. Back to the fans itself. In the past, whereby you have the SL and AL fans, we are having problems as in to mount the fan on radiators based on the fact that the hose is actually blocking by the butts over here. So that was in the past. Else, Lian Li have actually listened to you guys, and they have improved on this fans itself. And what they have done is, these clips are removable. See, I can just twist and remove. When you remove these clips, right, make sure you do not lose this. As time when you wanted to use it back, right, you will need to actually plug it back. So to interchange, or should I say to link up from fan to fan, is pretty straightforward. All you need is just to align, as in like one side with pin, one side without pin. Then you just interlink, and it's that simple, and you can just go on. But make sure you do not chain more than 4 fans and to plug on the controller or the motherboard header. Do take note on this. Besides this, right, they have also listened to us out, For the white fan itself, you have this white. For the black, you have this black. So having to say so, right, back in the past, the AL and SL, this connector is actually at the side. So be it whether, okay, I just assuming, be it whether you are placing inside, let's say this is actually the top case itself, you mount it as intake. Now, this will be hidden, this cable here, right, will be hidden inside. Else, if you do exhaust, right, see, this is over here, that was in the past. So Lian Li have actually done a very, very brilliant idea whereby they mount this at the center. I'm going to show you. See? So if you do place it this way as intake, your cable is going to be behind. But if you do flip it right, you might say that, oh, this is sticking out. I have to rotate back. Do not worry about this. As you can do is this. Just unlock this top catch. Take it out. Flip it over. And to lock it back. So when you're doing this, right, see earlier on I was showing you this direction, the cables are inside, not outside. So this is one brilliant thing that they have actually done. For illustration purposes, this is how the lightings are like. Now this is the front where you see the Lian Li crest on the frame itself and the ring that is having the aRGB effect. Now as you can see here, a better vision of the aRGB effects. This is the black fans, these are the white fans. As mentioned, the inner ring, you have the aRGB effect and the sides of the frame itself. And if I were to tilt, see the infinity mirror that's actually on the side, same goes to the other end. And the back of the fans, again at the sides over here of the frame, and the center and the blade, and look at the mirror at the center. See, you have this infinity mirror. This is the L-Connect 3 application whereby it controls all your fan settings, all the SL Infinity 120 lightings, like the individual lightings, all the effects and such. Now do take note that you can obtain this application here from this website, which is the Lian Li official website. This is how the interface look like, and I'll not go into depth. You can refer to the official website whereby it will show you all the functions and such. Now I will just base on the fact on the fans itself. As you can see here, right, it reads the reading on your PC, which is the CPU and the GPU. Let me just do an illustration. For example, the GPU itself right now is actually hovering at 44 degrees Celsius. So if I were to run this Heaven benchmark, you will see that the temperature will pump. So as you can see, it utilized the load and it start pumping. And looking at the GPU temperature, it does read simultaneously. Same goes to the CPU itself. If I'm to run the Cinebench, see, I'm running the Cinebench itself and it's loading. So it catches the temperature 54, 54, and you will rise. To control the fans itself, you have this section whereby you have all these ports. Now the only thing that I have is with me is actually the port 1, which is this. Let me just close this first, and to bring the this is actually connected to port 1. So as and when, right, I can just switch the profile. So take a look at the RPMs over here. I can set it to quiet if I apply. See, the RPM will go down. I can even set it to full, and this will react. See, it's going up. And if you do set to custom, now for custom wise, right, I have actually set this readings over here. So you can change the fan curve as you like according to the temperature of your GPU or your CPU. If I'm to set it to GPU itself, take a look. Right now it's actually CPU at 48 degrees Celsius and the RPM is this. If I were to apply on GPU itself, right, 58, 59, see, the RPM will go up. And if I were to switch it back again to CPU, which is 48 degrees Celsius, see, it will just go down. It will follow this curve. So just an illustration whereby I show you the fan itself. Let's see, my fan is over here. Okay, so right now the fan is actually running. So assuming that I set it to GPU, you'll see that the fan will start to react. See, based on the temperature and on the curve itself, it will react. And if I were to bring this down, or should I say set it to CPU instead of GPU, if I were to apply, see, it will react again. So it's actually following your curve. So this is how it works. Another good function of this latest L-Connect tree itself, now if you were to have some issues with connecting to your device and to control using the L-Connect tree itself, right, and you know that your fans are working but the application doesn't work, there is an inbuilt so-called ticket lock on the system itself. Let me just show you. Under settings, just go to support. Now you can read the FAQ. If you click on it, it will just bring you to a page whereby you troubleshoot all your stuff, or you can submit a log file, or should I say your case. All you need to do is to download the log, save your log. As you can see, I've saved over here. Okay, let me just do another one. I'll put error 2, error 3 probably. Once you have actually saved this, right, make sure you select the destination that where you want to save it, so that you know where to get this file and to upload to Lian Li tech support. Once you have actually done that, click on report. It will take you to this tech support page, and all you need is just to fill up everything over here, and of course the serial number of your SL Infinity 120, or maybe your AL or SL, it doesn't matter. I mean, in future, if you have problems with other products from Lian Li, you can make use of this function. Then select L-Connect tree, which is here. Then you just do all the necessary information that you need to provide. Let's say it's not reading the fan and pump RPM itself, you can do this. Then you upload the files accordingly, which I can upload this way. See, you can just select the file that you have. See, I've saved this. I can just upload. So once you have uploaded, right, write down your description, then fill up all this field like your name, your email, your address, etc., etc., and submit. There you have it, the overview of this SL Infinity 120 coming from Lian Li. I hope you guys have actually enjoyed what I've shared with you. And on the next video itself, I will be testing the airflow of this Infinity fans against the original SL120, the AL120, and other aRGB fans in the market. Besides this, I'd like to thank Lian Li and BlkSoda, who have provided me with this unit to share it with you guys. And for those of you who are actually new to my channel, if you do like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Till then, take care, goodbye, see ya.